I also like tell brides all the time is that, when you're a little girl and you're dreaming of your wedding, you're dreaming of like the florals and the venue and the cake, but like no one's ever really thinking about the food. So a lot of times people have never worked with a caterer before because like
Yeah.
why would you? Like it's such a random thing. I have so many times they'll come for tastings and they're like, what should we be asking? And I'm like, okay, let's walk through it.
Yeah.
All the things that like we get to provide within that full service, like really the benefit of what that is, because it really does take a lot off of their plate too.
We're discovering all things wedding, from Will You Marry Me to You May Kiss the Bride. I'm your host, Andrea. Welcome to the Bridal Club.
Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing my own wedding caterer, Vestals here in Dallas, Texas. The food is super important at any event, particularly weddings. Your guests are literally going to talk about the food, whether you like it or not. I'm super excited to have Vestals over because at my own wedding, not only they crafted the whole menu for our liking, including a ton of different restrictions because Justin has all kinds of allergies, but then also they provided an amazing and outstanding experience that had our guests talking for weeks. So help me welcome Sydney Carr, the Senior Sales Manager at Vestals Catering.
Sydney, I'm super excited to have you on this episode of Bridal Club. Thank you so much for doing this with us. We're super excited to learn all about Vestals, and where the company started and where you are and all the services that you offer. So why don't you tell our audience all the good stuff about the history and all the services that you offer?
Yes. So Vestals was founded about 15 years ago. So our founder, Jordan Swim, started Vestals at his house, and it started with just like small dinner parties. He would sell tickets for like backyard parties, and it like slowly grew and evolved into what it is now. So we've been in business for it'll be 16 years this year, which is just so exciting. But we are a full service caterer and we do it all. We do weddings, social, corporate, nonprofit, in home, just all the things. So it's been quite the journey.
Actually, I was able to talk to him when I did my tasting, and it was amazing. I got a tour. Your offices are insanely cool. So it's so cool to
Yes.
see, like I felt like I was in a movie or one of those like kitchen shows, like just walking through the kitchen and like everybody's like doing their thing.
Yes.
There's like fire and all of that. It was so much fun.
It is that crazy. So we moved into this office a year ago and we absolutely love it. It's in the heart of the design district and it is just awesome. And our kitchen is huge. There's always something going on, always something being cooking. And it's literally
Yes.
so awesome.
Yes. You mentioned full service a little bit ago. Can you tell me more about that, please?
Yes. So we are a full service caterer, meaning that we'll handle everything from start to finish. So we'll do your food, your rentals, your staffing. We can source different things for you. I know sometimes our corporate and social clients will also like source flowers for them. DJs, band, really anything. We can like source it and have it all be in one place. So also with full service, we'll get there 2.5 hours before your event starts and we'll do all the prep, all the setup. So for weddings, we set all the guests like table settings and pre-pour water, all of that. And we also stay at the end to like mop the floor, clean the kitchen, take out the trash, do all of that as well.
For our wedding, everything was very custom to our needs. Justin, my now husband, has a lot of allergies, so he literally sent our planner and you guys like a whole list of things that he could not eat. So you guys crafted our menu to our needs. Literally every single person at the wedding commented on how like amazing the experience was, due to
Yeah.
not only the stunning cocktails, by the way, which I cannot wait for our audience to see them, and obviously like everything else in the way that the food tasted, but the
Yeah.
service itself, like it was top notch.
Yeah. That is one thing that I really do love about our company is that our servers, our staff, like, love working here, and that, like,
Yes.
is so evident on site. Like, there's a lot of times we have a few event managers and servers that will get out on the dance floor, like, we'll dance with the guests. Like, once, like, food service and everything is done, like, they really do love what they do, care about what they do, and also, like, care about the experience
Exactly.
and, like, really making sure that we're giving our clients the experience that they deserve, that they want. So, our team is always going above and beyond, and it's just always so awesome to see.
Yes, and as I said, obviously you're saying that from the company, but as an outsider,
Yeah.
that's actually somebody who used your services. I can totally agree with what you said. They were all like, smiling, being super
Yeah.
cordial, and very nice to everyone. We even had like conversations with them, and again, they were very pleasant to work with. Another thing that it was super interesting, and I love to share this, is that Macy, my planner, is amazing, and
We love Macy.
oh, she's so much fun. She's like super fun. I'm not as fun as her at all. So I want her to bring all the confetti and all the like the crazy stuff to the wedding. But while she was planning the wedding, she knew the things that I wanted. And while she was incorporating all of this through the food, she basically told you guys how she wanted y'all to basically like verbally talk to our guests, like you are getting this because it's Andrea's favorite and this and that. So all of that
Yeah.
experience again is what I want like the audience to understand, that it's not like, we're serving food and we're happy. No, it's like an
Yeah.
experience that really talks about the bride and groom so much than I've ever experienced before.
Yeah, that is something that I really love, like, as the wedding sales manager, is, like, creating that custom experience. I love when a bride and groom are like, "These are my favorite food, like, my mom made this growing up, we wanna have this as past appetizer," because we are a full service caterer and we're also a scratch kitchen. So we have our full menu that we, like, operate out of. We can also make everything customizable too, which is, like, so fun. Like, I just love that part of it. So we really can create like such a custom experience to each wedding and to each couple.
Yes.
And I think that is like really what like sets the experience over the top of just like having that customized experience of like no one else has these appetizers and like we're having it because there's like a meaning behind it.
I love it. Okay, let's talk about the tasting. So the tasting was I mean, since I didn't actually have a lot of like planning, I actually didn't do a lot
Right.
myself. I did go to the tasting. My husband actually did not go with me because he was busy, but Macy did go, and it was truly the best experience that I had while planning. It was so much fun.
Yes. I love the tasting experience. I think that I always tell my clients when they come in for a tasting that this is the best part about wedding planning. Like you just get to
Yeah.
eat, drink,
Yes.
sit, relax, enjoy yourself. And I feel like with wedding planning, it's just decision after decision after decision. And like while at your tasting, like you are making decisions, it's like fun. Like I like put together the menus. There's a lot of like thought there. They just like get to come in and try it. A lot of times our clients, when they walk through the door at their tasting, it's their first time having an experience with Vestals. So it's
Yes.
just always so important to get that experience right and kind of like set the tone of, we are a luxury caterer and this is a luxury event and we want to make it, a really fun experience for you and kind of like take a burden off. And just like enjoy it. Whenever couples come in together, I always tell them like it's just like a midday date, just
Yes.
like hang out, enjoy, like take a break from wedding planning, like.
Yeah.
And I really just think that it's just such an awesome experience. And I just always encourage couples to always have a tasting, either before they're booked or after they're booked. Always going for a tasting because I just think it's just such a fun experience.
Yeah, in movies I've always seen like tasting, and it's just like little tasting of whatever. With you, because you guys did like all of our desserts as well, it was like an entire like as you said, like dinner, like or lunch or whatever, with my planner. And the cool thing is that because everything was prepared for us, exactly how it was going to be present at the wedding, we had even the drinks and everything. I was able to take every like leftover. It wasn't really leftovers. It was actually meant to be extra for my husband so he could try as well. So it was so much fun.
It is so fun. We always pack the leftovers to go because sometimes there is like dads who couldn't get off work or grooms who couldn't get off work or, a grandma who is at home or what have you. So we always love to pack the leftovers because I think that's just like just such so fun to take home like your leftovers and share it with like your loved ones of like, this is our wedding meal. Like that's just so exciting.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so just pretend like obviously I had a planner, so thankfully she took care of everything, and she works with y'all all the time. Um,
Yes.
for somebody who is new, who just learned about you guys, what is the booking process like?
Yeah, absolutely. So, really, how it starts is you just inquire with us. So, you can inquire with us on our website or you can inquire with us through email.
Okay.
And kind of just depending, like sometimes we'll send over a questionnaire that kind of just breaks it down of like, what are you looking for? Like, what's your price range? Are you wanting buffet, plated, family style? what are your favorite protein starches, different things like that. It kind of like helps me know like what you're looking for. And then from there, I'll build a customized proposal based off of what you said. So I'll kind of go off of that, go off what your preferences are, go off what your price range is, and kind of build it from there and then send it back over. And so from there, it's just kind of like a back and forth of like perfecting the proposal to get it to be like exactly what they're wanting. So that's when like the customized items come in, tastings come in, different things like that to really get it to be exactly what they're wanting and kind of like really envision it. I also like tell brides all the time is that, when you're a little girl and you're dreaming of your wedding, you're dreaming of like the florals and the venue and the cake, but like no one's ever really thinking about the food. And so a lot of times people have never worked with a caterer before because like, why would you, like it's such a random thing. So it's also kind of like really important for me to like guide our clients through that, like through what the expectations are, through like, the questions. I have so many times they'll come for tastings and they're like, what should we be asking? And I'm like, okay, let's walk through it, all the things that like we get to provide within that full service, like really the benefit of what that is, because it really does take a lot off of their plate too.
Yeah, and something that I want to touch base on is a couple things that you mentioned, right? Like you're not thinking necessarily about food when you're a little kid and when you're like daydreaming about your wedding until you're actually planning. But if you
Right.
think about it is, I mean, obviously you know this, but it really is like probably the thing that connects everybody at the wedding because I mean,
Yeah.
for a very long time, the people like the guests are actually going to be eating, and like most likely all the guests are going to talk about the food experience after the wedding. Like, I mean, we always do. And I'm going to be honest with you. And I actually said this on my very first episode of Bridal Club with Justin is that we have never really had, no offense to anyone, but we have gone to beautiful weddings and the place is amazing, but we have never been like, oh my gosh, the food was so good that if they had a restaurant, I would go back. And so
Right.
like whenever I remember like we had that conversation before and I was like, yeah, I don't, you know what? I've never actually had that experience either. So it was kind of like, up in the air. We were like thinking about it, but then I got to obviously have the tasting with y'all and I'm like, prove me wrong, and you guys totally did. So again, like our guest talked so much about the whole experience and the food and how good things were. You guys were able to even put like some snacks for our guests to go and a lot of them took them. A lot of whoever didn't, we kept them. It was like you guys did like caramel popcorn and cheddar popcorn for us. So good.
So good.
Oh,
That is such a good little treat for them, like as they're walking out the door. Like that is so good.
okay. So and again, it's not only the food, is like the snacks, is like this, and I told Macy also we went to one of our favorite restaurants and they had like these cocktails that had dried ice. And I told Macy, like, this is what I want. And you guys were able to accommodate that for me as well and put like the florals that I wanted inside the drinks and everything. It was so
Yeah. Like what you said about like guests remember the food. That's so true. Like guests, I always tell my clients, is like guests remember if they left hungry or not. Like they remember if they stopped by a Whataburger on the way home or if they went home full, because it's like whenever I go to a wedding, that's what I remember. Like, did I leave hungry or not? And so it really, and like you said, like it is the thing that connects all of the guests together, like there's so many times where like they're sitting at a table with people that they don't know. And like, that's maybe like the common thing that they can like start a conversation on or what have you. So it really is such a big part of the wedding. And that's something that like we don't take lightly. That's something that like we're very aware of and like, always want to like go above and beyond for because we know that it's usually sometimes the most expensive part of the wedding, but it's also the most important part of the wedding.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, let's talk about trends. Is there anything that you're seeing trending, whether it is with cocktails or actual entrees?
So definitely the signature cocktail. That is obviously a really, really big one that we're seeing that brides and grooms are really, which I always love. I love going to a wedding and having a signature cocktail. That's just like the best part to me. But food wise, I'm seeing a lot of station dinners. Like I'm seeing a lot more people who are wanting stations and who are also wanting past appetizers like throughout the reception.
Yeah, that's what we did too.
Yes, I'm seeing a lot of that. A lot of people are asking for that, which is so fun. And with that, I'm seeing a lot more like open seating instead of like assigned seating or assigned tables. It's just kind of like open seating, and people can just go up to the stations, grab their plate, grab their food, have their past appetizer. So it's kind of like less formal in a way. But it flows just like honestly
Yeah.
so effortlessly.
Yeah, so we actually did have the stations that you're talking about, especially for like the cocktail hour, and then
Yeah.
full bar where they were like, I think a couple of people like serving them, and then we did have kind of like the pass apps, but it was a seated dinner or a seated wedding, and that was very important to me. And I believe I have no idea how many staff y'all had there, but it was almost like it was one person per guest. I mean, we was don't get me wrong, it was a small wedding. We were like probably like I don't know 30, 32 in total, but it
Mhm.
seemed as though we were all taking
Yeah.
care of, like we always had food on our plate, which it was hot,
Yeah.
right? We always had drinks, like everything was so meticulously planned. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's something that we're really, really big on is our staffing ratios. So we
Oh,
have staffing ratios for all the different like service types. So like for buffet, plated, family style, because we just always want to make sure that we're like always staffed properly so that way we can like properly serve the
okay.
wedding.
Okay. That's awesome. So basically they come to you and you can let them know based on how many people are gonna have, or how many like or what the style of the wedding is gonna be like. You can recommend all of that.
Yes, yeah. So like if they're like, oh, I'm having a buffet dinner of like 200 people, I would like put in their quote like how many servers, how many kitchen staff that would require.
I
And
love
then as they're planning and as their guest count's going up and down, like we'll adjust it accordingly because nothing is set in stone until 10 days out. Because with wedding planning, things are always
yes,
changing
of course.
and we like know that. So nothing's set in stone until 10 days out. So as you're planning and as things are changing, we're also adjusting staffing and hours and kind of going along that with y'all.
Yeah, another thing that I want to say about my wedding is that we rented a bus, so they could take the people from the Dallas area to the lake house, which is like about an hour away. And as soon as they stepped out of the bus, there was a staff member of y'all's giving champagne to all of them. Like that alone was like
That's awesome.
the first experience they have.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
So let's talk about, do you have like budget? Like how do you help like the couples plan their budget?
Yes. So something that we really, really, really always try to do is like work within a price point. Like that's something that's like really big for us is like, there's so many brides. I feel like there's two types of brides or two types of clients. And it's either someone who's like experience driven, who, wants the custom cocktails and, all of that, or someone who is like, my dad gave me a budget and the budget is this.
Hmm.
So with those brides, we want them to still have that experience and have that like luxury experience on their wedding day. And so with that, it just kind of comes down like cutting down on a few things, like maybe having like one protein on your buffet instead of two, or having like, a cheese board instead of like 3 past apps. It just really is just kind of about like scaling back a little bit, but still not losing that luxury experience. So it's absolutely like so possible. And I love when a bride's like, my budget is this. And then I can just kind of like work a little bit of magic and get it down to that number and we're all good.
So do you have any advice for couples at all? Like just trying to book either you or their caterer?
Yes. So something that I always tell my clients when they come in for tastings is just like, this is your wedding and it's your menu. So like pick what you want, pick what sounds good to you. What do you want to eat on your wedding day? And just kind of go off of that. I have so many times like clients will be like, oh, I'm not sure if people are gonna like this. And I'm like, well, if you like it, that's really all that matters. So really just like, finding that menu that really represents them and what they love and just kind of going with that.
Okay, so any closing thoughts for our customers and then or audience, and then how can they contact you and book your services?
I mean, no closing thoughts. We're just, we have a lot of growth, so many exciting things happening this year. So we're really excited. We just had our big Mardi Gras party last week. And we just got on the Dallas Arboretum's catering list. So we're super excited about that. I know, so excited. But if you want to reach out, you can always just find us at vestalscatering.com and submit an inquiry, and we'll get back to you like within the day.
Yeah, awesome. And then tell me your social media because I really want people to actually see what kind of events you guys are producing.
Yeah. So our Instagram, I think all of it is just Vestals Catering.
Perfect. Awesome.
Instagram and TikTok. And then I think we're on Facebook. All of that's just Vestals Catering.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, you guys definitely need to go on there and just see again, because you're going to be able to see how beautiful the food is, which is as tasteful, but then also the type of services that they're able to offer. So, Sydney, thank you so much for doing this with us. I cannot wait to work with y'all again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Learn about all things wedding straight from the experts.
be sure to like and subscribe to Bridal Club.